You've got, streaming companies like Netflix saying that, a baby cow, a calf, is confused about its fucking gender. And now they're normalizing it, right? So if a child sees that, he's gonna see that the cow's really cute. It's a cute little cow. So they're adding all of this stuff the same way that you had said that in that school, the teacher said that they identify as they, them, and changed their name, and then the little kids started actually supporting the teacher and getting upset at other teachers. So to me, it's a form of grooming.
Yeah, and thinking on it, like, I was a tomboy growing up, right? So if I was a tomboy, being naive and a kid, like, this whole thing was going on, I might start thinking to myself, okay, am I supposed to be a guy? Because I like guy things. Like, I don't like makeup. I don't like that. So does that mean I'm a guy? Because I like to hang out with. So then it would start putting something into my head that really doesn't need to be there just because I'm a tomboy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like that's can cause a whole.
So if now, for example, in school, they've already been teaching children this. So now, if anyone who does feel like a tomboy, automatically they're going to say, well, you fall into this category. So it must really mean that you're a boy, right? Or if it's a young boy who's going through puberty, and for a lot of boys that go through puberty, they have a very high pitched voice, right? And they have like that lanky, little boy girl body going on at 13, right? They have no definition. Their arms are just really thin and straight. They don't, their chest has no hair on it, right? So they're going through a bit of a tough time, and this is the time that the parent needs to be super supportive and give them love and hug them and let them know it's just a phase you're going through. You're gonna get through it. Your voice is gonna change. You're gonna start growing hair, blah, blah. And same thing with a girl, because the girl is kind of rebelling against this. I don't wanna wear a dress. I don't wanna be beautiful. I don't want attention from guys. But it's in your DNA. You're gonna get over this period, and then you are gonna wanna do all these things like painting your nails and brushing your hair and putting a little bit of makeup, and you can actually enjoy doing that. But these individuals get robbed of that opportunity. Like, who the fuck is a teacher at a school or a counselor at a school? Who do they think they are, where they have the audacity to now tell this child who's already confused, who's already going through all kinds of insecurities, and he's already being bullied and picked on and so on, so is she.
Puberty.
Yeah, puberty, right? And now you have this teacher coming along just pumping this messed up ideology that, well, maybe you're not who you are. Well, who are you to say that to me? Who are you to, confuse me even further into thinking that I'm not who I am? Why can't you just support me and say, you're going through something right now, don't worry, you are who you are, be proud of who you are, and then you'll be eventually going to overcome this, you're going to be happy. No, instead they're being told, you're never going to be happy, you have to mutilate your body, change every single thing about you, and then you might attain happiness. And then you've got the complaint that the movement has is that the way that I'm talking right now is that this causes a lot of these individuals to commit suicide. And I feel for people who are going through mental health issues. However, the suicides are taking place after transition.
That and the suicides that are happening before transition, though, it's also because they're not, how can I explain this in a way that's politically correct?
No, don't. That's not.
So the suicides that are happening before transition, it's an underlying issue. It's not because you're trans. It's because there's something else going on, right? And you're not addressing that. So as a result, you're acting out and doing things like, and I'm not trying to say that every person is acting out as trans. I'm just saying that if you're not going to address the issue at hand, those things will happen. It's the same thing, like, if you get, say, PTSD, right, and you do not cure, or you do not treat it, your PTSD will branch into bipolar. If you don't treat that, it'll branch into BPD, and it'll branch, but, right? And you have to solve one to bring it back, right? So the suicides are before transition are because a different issue isn't being addressed.
And the ones that are after transition has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So somebody's already transitioned. We're not attacking it. Like, we're not even attacking I'm not even attacking the people that are going through the transition. I'm attacking the people who are pushing them and giving them the wrong kind of support. If a child is confused and the child is 8 years old and it's a boy, and then the child's a little bit, and the child's not even confused. The child just happens to like to play with dolls, and the boy wants to grow his hair out and put on nail polish, and now the parents basically say, okay, well, your name is Jonathan, but we're going to change your name to Joanna, and you're going to become a girl. But that's the parents. Those are the people I'm blaming. I'm blaming the teachers, the counselors, the doctors, the people who are in these clinics that specialize only in the transition part.
Correct.
That within 15 minutes of interviewing somebody, they prescribe, testosterone or estrogen to a child. Instead of saying, you know what, like the government should make, I'm just thinking out loud, the government should make some, mandatory rules for assessment. Someone wants to go to one of these clinics, right, for the do transitions, it should be mandatory that person must go for 3 proper appointments and counseling with a psychiatrist for 1 hour each. And then the psychologist or the doctor, the counselor, whatever therapist will now give a report. And based on that report, then it should be determined whether they can disrupt the transition. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, of course.
That should be mandatory.
So, speaking on what you just said, when a kid would dress up and paint his nails, back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, they would just deem that kid gay. They'd be like, oh, he likes guys, right? Then all of a sudden, now it's no, he's not gay, he wants to be a girl. I remember my cousin Dorian is gay, so he would come play Barbies with me, and his brother would go upstairs with my brother. So everybody knew. But they never pushed it. They just waited for him to kind of tell everybody. But it wasn't, oh, he wants to be a girl because he's putting on high heels. It was just he's gay. Yeah. So then now that it's it's not cool to be gay anymore. That's boring now. So now it's...
You're totally right, because if a male becomes a transgender female, he's still attracted to males.
Right.
So he's gay.
Yes.
So if he kept his penis, he can still do his business. You're not going to see. You guys understand my point here?
No, I do. And I would love to ask a transgender person who had surgery after waiting, say, 20 years, they wait till they were an adult. Was there anything wrong with waiting that long? You know what I mean? At least you got everything out, you figured out what you needed to do, and you didn't make any mistakes, right? It's like getting a tattoo that you're going to regret.
Yeah.
So
this is way worse than a tattoo. I mean,
but 100%.
Getting your penis chopped off is not like having
I've said it
a barbed wire on your arm.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. These people are going to be in nursing homes, and one day they're going to wake up and they're going to think, I'm a guy, where the hell is my penis?
Well, I hope what you're saying is what's going to happen. My greater fear is that these people are going to be running the country.
Well, Trudeau already is.
No, but now imagine if you have someone that gets elected that identifies with all of those names.
Oh, yeah, that's
messed up, right? Or someone who's in power. Let's say the mayor of Mississauga or Toronto, whatever, that identify, or the head of the school board.
Okay, so
now what's going to happen?
I have a random thought here. What if a kid went into school and he was like, no, I identify as a teacher, or I identify as a grade 12 student, I'm going to grade 12. And the teacher can't say, well, no, you don't. But you let that person identify as a cat. How could you, what's the difference there? Where's the line?
Yeah.
That's exactly what, someone like Piers Morgan, I don't really always agree with him, but when he was having a debate with this individual, she was saying, no, if she says that she's a female, then she's a female. We should respect that. So he said, okay, well, today I woke up feeling like a black lesbian. And she goes, you're being ridiculous. I was like, I'm being ridiculous?
So then
how's there any difference here?
How can Trudeau get in trouble for blackface? He identified as black that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not...
I never even looked at it that way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well,
yeah.
Maybe that day...
So how's that racist?
Yeah.
So, what's really funny? Can you just push this down a bit over here? The whole thing? Yeah. There's actually people now going around talking to individuals, and they're like, can you change your ethnicity? And they're like, no, you can't. So if you're Asian, right? If you're Middle Eastern, right? Can you change it? Can you all of a sudden say that I'm Italian?
That would make life so much easier.
Do you feel that you can now? You're gonna say that you're Mexican, so I have to regard you as being a Mexican?
So I have a theory. So if I can do that, So then a bunch of like, I don't know, like Asian white people, that non-black people, I'm not trying to be racist here, if they identify themselves as black.
They can say the N-word.
Yeah, can they do that now?
What, girl?
I thought of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Can you say the N-word?
Yeah, that's good.
like, are you from the hood now?
Or just when I drive by the hood, for those 2 hours, identify as black, so I can say these racist slurs.
Exactly.
But when I'm back in Oakville, I'm not.
Yeah, but you go into a place like that and you start saying that and you turn to them and you go, no, it's okay, I identify as black. Good luck. Like,
No, but I'm saying.
but that's reality. So
When,
that's how it
when
should
they
be
spoke
life.
when they spoke to these people, and they interviewed on the street, they said, "Can you change your ethnic background?" They said, "No, like you're born with that, and you've been like that for generations, and your family." And then the argument, well, okay, well then how can you change your gender because you were born with that? And then they have an argument then. So it's like, who are you to? And now you can also change what kind of a living being you are. So whether you're a human or a tree or a dog, you can change that.
Well, some girl just went through, she actually did change her skin color. She took melanin treatments to become darker, and then she like,
I've seen that woman.
that one, you know,
She looks really scary.
yeah, well, yeah. She looks like she was in a she looks like she was in a tanning bed way too long. Like,
big- the big
yeah.
You guys seen this person?
Yeah.
She's creepy as shit, and she actually said that she's black.
Yeah. But again, if someone can identify as a Z, you're jumping. That sounded like the freaking vowels. A-E-I-O-U.
That's going to be all the stuff that we just talked about. This is going to start coming up. The next thing is going to be that people are going to be saying that, they might be 45, but no, I'm 18. And you have to respect that.
Well, I'm proud to say that Kristen and I went to Palladium yesterday, and when we went, I was really I was nervous to go to the washroom.
There's that lady.
Is it going to be like a shared washroom? No, it's not. They still have it separated, boy, girl. And I was like, okay, so it's still kind of nice to see that some places still kind of have.
No, but the boy-girl bathroom, a transgender female can walk into the girl bathroom. Still, that's the thing. I don't care that they're separated.
Then in that moment, I guess
They should have
homophobic, and I'm gonna hit.
They should have a neutral. What did you say?
I said, I guess in that moment, I'll identify as homophobic, and I'm gonna hit.
Yeah. Well, we'll get arrested because violated that person's human rights. But I agree with the part about having 3 different bathrooms.
Yep.
Right? But the argument they have is that's discriminating. You're putting them into a box. Well, fuck, you are in a box. Like, your views and your thinking is not universal. It started now. This whole movement started for the last 10 years or 15 years. It really blew up. Mm-hmm. So it's not the norm, right? This is not the way. If an individual, like you said, liked to put on nail polish and wear dresses and shit, that guy was gay.
That was it.
That was it. Or he was like what do they call them? A drag queen. That's
Drag
queen.
Drag queen.
Yeah.
That's what they
Pretty
were.
boy. Yep.
Like, that show, RuPaul's whatever?
Yeah.
Those are drag queens. So it's men who are dressing as women.
What about the Rocky Horror Picture Show? That's my first
Yeah.
That's
that as well too.
transvestite.
Yeah. Who was that? Was that Travolta? Who was it that?
I think
Oh,
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Yes. Yeah.
Right? So it's gotten really messed up. And I think that if we stop talking about it, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of push back. And again, I'm not targeting the people who are saying that they want to transition. I'm targeting the support community around them. I don't really feel they're getting the essential support that they need. So the minute that individual says that, it should become mandatory, and the government can pay for this because they're fucking paying for the surgeries anyhow with their tax dollars. The government should pay for that individual to go for 3 sessions with a psychiatrist. And then a report should be given, and then the psychiatrist can determine this person's of sound mind and can make a decision. So I'm sure when they sit down with an 8-year-old, the psychiatrist is going to say, no, this person's not of sound mind. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. And no, I say no to it, and that's what happens.
But I also thinking about it, I also kind of feel bad for I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jeffree Star. He's a trans singer, amazing guy. But there's a lot of trans people that agree with you. They're like, these people are ridiculous, and they're saturating our market essentially, and they're making this something that it's not, and they're taking away from the meaning of it, right?
Yeah.
So he even says, and he's trans, he goes, there's only 2 genders, guys. There's female, male, and then there's trans people, and I'm trans, right? And then he said, that's why, white collar Americans, blue collar Americans like me, because I'll tell them how it is. Yeah, I'm a guy that dresses up, and he lays it out, right? So I feel bad for the trans people that agree with us and that are
The ones that are like really are genuinely trans, like they don't feel comfortable in their own skin. I
and personally, I feel like they like people saying, "Oh, I identify as a cat or dog." I feel like those people are making fun of real trans people, like
what they're suffering.
Yeah, what they're actually suffering with. It's like, okay, you know, you don't know anything.